Hi math friends, today we're looking at percents, fractions, and decimals, specifically converting from a percent to a decimal. The thing we have to remember is that when we convert, we change how the value looks, but not the actual value. So we're going to see some numbers today, and the numbers are going to look different, but they're actually the same value. When we move the decimal for this skill, we're specifically dividing by 100. It might seem difficult when we think about dividing by 100, but after we learn a trick, it's going to actually be a treat because it'll work every time. Converting from a decimal to a percent is the other skill that we'll look at. And again, for this, remember that we are going to change how the value looks, but not the actual value. When we move the decimal for this from a decimal to percent, we're going to be multiplying by 100. And multiplying by 100 might seem tough to do, but we're also going to see a trick which becomes a treat for this because it works every time. Let's first look at the numbers 39% and 3%. So if I want to go from a percent to a decimal, I'm going to look at the number 39. I'm going to remove the percent, and the decimal would be right here because it doesn't start with the decimal. When we divide by 100, we move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. So as a decimal, 39% is 0.39. If you like to write a 0 in front of your decimal, you can. This has the same value as 39%. Notice how the percent is removed, and now the decimal is 2 spaces to the left. For 3%, remove the percent. Decimal is here. And same idea. We have to move this 2 spaces to the left. Now there's a gap here. If there's a gap, I'm going to fill that in with a 0. And then my decimal goes here now. So 3% as a decimal is going to be 0.03 or 3/100ths. And this makes sense too because we saw that a percent is out of 100. So 39% is 39/100ths or 0.39. 0.03 can also be read as 3/100ths, and that's 3%. That's 3 out of 100. Last examples for this lesson, we're going to look at values turned into percentages. So 135, let's start by rewriting that. And let's put the decimal where we see it. We're going to move this 2 spaces to the right. Okay, so for this one, 135. And then when we have these 2 spaces to fill in, we're going to fill in with zeros. And then we'll put the percent on. So changing this into a percent would be 13,500%. It seems odd to have a percent over 100, but it does happen. That's why we wanted to look at it. Second one, so we have 23 and 87/100ths. We want to change this into a percent. Move 2 spaces to the right. And I'm going to have 2,387. And then add on that percent sign. For both of these, notice how they didn't start with a percent, and then at the end they do have a percent. So these are the same value, but one has a percent and the other does not have a percent.